we are going to count down the 5 best molds that are put out by Axiom discs. This is a completely subjective list. These are going to be what we think are the 5 best. Be sure to comment down below what you think is the best mold out of Axiom discs. But for number 5, we're going to go with the Axiom Crave. The Crave is a super unique disc. That is one of the main reasons it's on this list. Coming in at 6.55, -1 on the flight numbers. It has the distance and shot shaping ability of a fairway driver, but it has the comfortability of a mid-range, making it very, very unique. I think it leans even closer to a 6-speed than a 7-speed, and 6 speeds are just generally not utilized by a lot of people, but they're really cool. I know Casaplast also has the Cax at the 6-speed, where it's super in between a mid-range and a driver, but that makes it super amateur and beginner friendly. It's pretty understable, like I said, giving you a lot of shot shaping ability. I've talked plenty on this channel about how I don't really love overmolded drivers, and the Crave has the most seamless driver hand feel that you can find on an overmold disc. I thought about putting the Axiom Insanity in this slot as well. The Insanity is incredible. It's an understable 9-speed, also very controllable. You can get a lot of distance out of it for amateurs and beginners. But the Crave is just so unique. I think you can find a lot of understable 9-speeds out there, but this understable 6-speed feeling, almost like a mid-range, flying like a driver, way too unique to leave off of the list. If you've never tried the Crave, you have to go check it out. Before I jump into number 4, I want to tell you guys about Renew Disc Golf Bags. They're the sponsor of today's video. Renew Disc Golf makes bags that are made out of recycled materials. Here on the channel, we have been rocking the EcoPack 2, which is made out of recycled sailcloth. They look incredible. They have great storage. They have great durability on the EcoPack 2, and they're made in the USA. Like I said, out of recycled sailcloth material. So it's a great way to bring more sustainability into your disc golf game. I've been using the EcoPack 2 for a few months now, and I absolutely love it. I've used it in tournament rounds. I've used it casual play. I love that they have big side pockets and water bottle holders. Too many bags, I think, are cutting out the elastic water bottle holders. Those are a necessity for me, and the big side pockets where you can put anything. And if you guys use code Swanky, you can get 10% off your purchase at Renew Disc Golf. Help support sustainable disc golf, and Renew also help support the channel by using our code. And again, big thank you to Renew for sponsoring and for just making really awesome bags that are sustainable. Coming in at number 4, we have the Envy. And some of you might be thinking this is too low on the list. Some of you might be thinking it shouldn't actually make the list at all. The Envy has a pretty wide range of opinions going around about it as of late. We of course all remember the holy shot from James Conrad at Worlds 2021, I believe it was, that made the Envy one of the most popular discs on the planet, and it truly is an incredible mold. I think you can get the distance of a mid-range out of this putter. They also feel super comfortable in their base plastics to putt with. The numbers on the base plastics are typically 3301, but you get them in a premium plastic like this Prism Plasma plastic, and it's 3302, so really nice stability on it. The hand feel is relatively shallow. There's a subtle bead on it, super comfortable. And something about the overmold, we talk about this all the time, the overmold specifically on throwing putters and mid-ranges out of Axiom MVP is so incredible. But the Envy, of course, had to make the list just for being, I think, one of the most popular Axiom discs, one of the best throwing putters in the world, and genuinely one of the farthest throwing putters you can get. And just a reminder, guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for new videos every single week. If you want to hear us break down the top 5 molds from MVP or Streamline or your favorite company, comment it down below. We're trying to hit 40,000 subscribers, and when we do, we're going to do a big giveaway. So be sure to hit the subscribe button and like the video if you enjoy this style of content. Okay, up next, number 3, we're going with the Pyro. For anyone who doesn't know, the Pyro is an overstable 5-speed, overstable mid-range 540 2.5. And there's a few other discs now that Axiom is making that might compete with this slot in the future. We have the Tempo that's gonna feel a lot more shallow, and it's a 4-speed, so it technically kind of flirts with the line of being a mid-range or an approach disc. It's gonna be a little bit more overstable. And you're also gonna have the Simon Line Balance coming in. The prototype Balance was definitely as overstable, if not more overstable than the Pyro, but they might retool it to make it a little bit less overstable. Regardless, we're going with the Pyro because it is one of the most comfortable overstable mid-ranges in the game. There are a lot of overstable mid-ranges on the market now, but something about that jump from overstable putter to overstable mid-range starts to make a disc feel really blocky, really blunted edge. You have things like the Mutant from Discmania, or even, in my opinion, the Malta, the Buzz OS. It's really difficult to do overstable mid-ranges, like really overstable mid-ranges that feel good and normal. And I think the Pyro is the disc that does that the best. With bigger arm speeds, you're gonna be able to get a decent amount of distance out of this disc as well, especially on forehand for a mid-range. It's just a wild disc that you really have to pick up and throw to understand what I'm saying. The throwing putter and mid-range game out of Axiom is possibly the best on the planet right now. All right, we are already on to number 2. This one might be kind of controversial between number 2 and number 1. These are gonna go back and forth for us here at Swanky Disc Golf. But for number 2, we're going with the Hex, Axiom Discs Hex. This is an incredible mid-range. The classic flight numbers 5.5, -1.1. We spent a lot of time watching Professional Disc Golfer in the bags and breaking down what the most thrown molds are, and pretty much the most popular mid-range, I mean among professional disc golfers, but really among everyone, is gonna be a disc with the flight numbers 5.5, -1.1, or the Buzz is 5.4, -1.1, I think technically, but somewhere around those flight numbers is going to be the most popular mid-range in the world, and the Hex is what you're gonna be getting from Axiom discs. One big thing from the Hex is that it's going to be an absolute bomber of a mid-range. Maybe there really is something to the overmold technology. Anyone who doesn't know MVP Axiom, they claim that the gyro technology genuinely makes discs go farther. I don't know if that's true, but something about the NV and the Hex and the Pyro and these discs that are, especially mid-ranges specifically, and putters, something does feel like you can absolutely bomb these mid-ranges. That's not necessarily the point of mid-range, to make it go super far. But if you want a very controllable 5-speed that you're gonna be able to get your max distance out of a 5-speed for, the Hex is gonna be your go-to guy. It's fairly neutral, but I would say it leans more on the overstable side than the understable side of that neutral flight. We're sort of nitpicking here, but when you really get to know discs, you know that, like, even though it says -1.1, there are straighter flying -1.1s, little slightly more understable -1.1s, and there are more overstable -1.1s. The Buzz being probably the most overstable, quote unquote, 5.4 -1.1. This one's 5.5 -1.1. A little bit less overstable than a Buzz, but still not, like, I don't know how to say it. It's not as straight flying as -1.1, truly. It is a straight flyer. If you have a big arm speed, you're gonna be able to absolutely bomb these things. And if you don't, you're gonna be able to get a really nice straight flight out of it. Great for shot shaping, great for throwing straight or on that baby Anheuser flight that's just gonna pan and do exactly what you need it to do. All right, we are on to number 1. Again, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Let us know what we missed in the comments. What is your favorite disc out of Axiom? This was completely subjective. We're just fans of disc golf trying to create a place where we can talk about discs and have a fun time. All right, number 1. We're going with the Proxy, guys. Feast your eyes. This thing is disgusting. This is filthy. This is beautiful. Oh my goodness. One of my favorite things about Axiom is they seem to be so well in touch with the fan base. They innovate all the time. They put out discs like this. They treat their pros super well. This is a Silva Saarinen Team Series Proxy. And I showed you this Jeremy Coling tempo. They know what the fans want. I guess it took a while on the tempo, but they know what their fans want, and they deliver in such incredible ways. The flight numbers on the Proxy are 3.3, -1.5, making it slightly understable. Depending on the plastic you get, it could be more understable, but very, very straight. For amateurs, this is gonna be your absolute favorite throwing putter off the tee. This is the disc I was referring to that I think has become even more popular than the Envy. I don't have the sales reports from Axiom, but just based on what I'm seeing in the disc golf scene, I think that reason is that the Envy is more overstable. This is more straight flying. Beginners and amateurs are getting much more shot shaping and distance abilities out of this than they are the Envy. That's gonna be the list, guys. Again, let us know what you think in the comments below, and we'll see you in the next one. Stay swanky.